Hello, 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 everyone. Come on into the webinar. My name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your hostess for this evening, where we're going to talk about how you get that grant money for your woman-owned business or your woman-led nonprofit. So, as you come in, say hello to me. I am in Northeast Ohio, not too far from Cleveland, where it's kind of a balmy 57 degrees, but we are in the midst of some pretty heavy storms. So I'm praying that all of the electricity stay on and that we're able to continue. When you say hello, give your city and your state a shout out, please. So give your city and your state a shout out. Hey, Angel is no Angel. Let me know where you're coming in from. Hey, Monique from Mobile, Alabama. I was just in Alabama, last month. No, February, I was in Alabama. I was in where was it? Montgomery and Wetumpka. Look at Alabama showing up. Hey, Sigrid from Huntsville, Alabama. Bama is in the house today. Yes, I was in your state a couple of months ago. Hey, Angie, you're coming in from Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, Latoya from Hamden, Connecticut, and Rosalie, from the west side of Columbus. Our state capital has showed up. Hey, and we've got Natalie. Look at Ohio. Ohio is up in the house with Columbus and Natalie from Youngstown, Ohio, and Alanisha from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Who else is here with me tonight? My name is Linda Peavy. I'm going to be your host for this evening, where we're going to talk about how you get the grant money for your woman-owned business or your woman-led nonprofit. Look at Dayton showing up. Dayton, hey, Dawn from Dayton. I understand you guys, you in Columbus are getting some really, really, really bad storms. Hey, Gladys from Clarksville, Tennessee, and new from the Catskill Mountain region of New York. Oh, that just sounds so beautiful. Sheila is coming in from Texas, and Brandy from Oklahoma City. People know I love to sing that Oklahoma song, but I'm going to spare your ears today, Brandy. And is it Tuila from Nana? Is it Nanakuli? Nanakuli, Hawaii is in the house. I've been to your beautiful, beautiful state. And we've got, oh, you said God is sparing you so far. Good, because I know that Columbus lost electricity for hours today. There are really, really, really bad storms coming all through Ohio, and it is actually on the way up here to the north to Cleveland. So I'm hoping everything stays on. All right, Carolyn. Carolyn's coming in from Huntsville. Alabama has shown up strong in the house. Hey, Bernadette from Delaware, and Anita from Topeka, Kansas. Hey, everybody. My name is Linda Peavy. I'm going to be your host. We're going to get started because I do have a lot of information to share with you. I really do, and I want to get it all in. So the first thing you're going to see when I show my presentation is my little 30-second TV commercial, and that will just give you some information, and especially some background information about me and who I am and what I do and why I'm able to help. And then we are off to the races. We're going to get started. So, as I always do when I hit this share screen button, as I come through technology, especially on today with these storms, like come through technology, and you're going to see the presentation. It is looking good thus far. All right.
Hi, I'm Linda Peavy, owner of LaPav Consulting. My passion is to place your organization on the path to excellence. Are you struggling to communicate your message, reach target audiences, or secure funding? From marketing communications to grant writing, we achieve your goals. We've worked with high-profile clients and have secured $17 million in funding for charter schools and nonprofits. Call today to discuss what your success looks like and how LaPav Consulting can help.
All right, so that's a little bit more about me. Let's make sure everybody's in the right place. So this is grant writing for your woman-owned business or your woman-led nonprofit. And this is my live, yes, we're live, 7 o'clock session. Oh my gosh, we were on today live at noon. We had so much fun. We just had an epic session this morning at noon. And I know we're going to have a good time tonight as well. A little bit more about me. Yes, they call me the grants queen because I have secured over $17 million in grant funding and business development. But also, this is year 16 of me owning my own business, LaPav Consulting. And every one of those years, I've been a professional grant writer. I have not only written grants, but I have been hired to create and write the request for proposal that you all complete. And I score applications. I also do provide grant writing workshops all over the country. And I am a proud alumnus of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses Program. I got my undergrad and my graduate degrees from the University of Akron, Ohio, go Zips. And I am a member of Forbes Black, which is an organization of Black leaders affiliated with Forbes magazine. And I have been the executive director of a nonprofit. Now, I have a business today, but yes, I have led a nonprofit. So I want to know who is here with me today. Let me know in the chat. Are you a nonprofit or for-profit, or maybe you're both? Hey, Amanda from College Station, Texas. Let me know if you are like a for-profit or a nonprofit, or maybe you're both. Maybe you have both entities. Secret is a for-profit. Who else do we have with us? Nonprofit. Let me know in the chat. Nonprofit. Okay, nonprofit. Indigenous social welfare organization and farm. Fantastic. All right, so let me tell everyone right now. So I'm super clear because sometimes I get this question all the way at the end of the webinar. So I'm trying to be crystal clear. Yes, if you are a for-profit, if you are a small business, there's grant money available. Now, I know that seems odd because when you thought about a grant, what did you think about? A nonprofit, but everything is different now. So yes, there are grants available to for-profit organizations that are your small businesses. So yes, if you're an entrepreneur and you have a business, there's grant money available that you can apply for. All right. So yes, money for nonprofits and money for profits, your small businesses. So we're going to talk about both tonight. So a little bit more about how I got here. I used to be a publishing executive in Pennsylvania. I got hurt. I had to come back home to Cleveland to recuperate. Literally came home in a wheelchair because I couldn't stand. And it took me 2 years to recuperate. At the end of those 2 years, I couldn't find a job. My experience was in marketing, but the publishing sector. And as you can imagine, Cleveland, Ohio is like not the publishing mecca of the United States. So I couldn't find a job. So that's when I started LaPav Consulting. It's been 16 years. I have not looked back. And when I first started my organization, I signed on to be a contracted executive director of a nonprofit. And I tell you, I don't really think I was there a week before I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to write a grant to save my job, which meant I was saving the organization. Now, I had never seen a grant before. I had no knowledge of grants. It just was not in like my wheelhouse. But you know what? I did it. I learned about grants. I wrote that grant. I saved my job. I saved the organization. And I learned at that moment this incredible connection between getting free money, somebody else's money, free money, and using it to open, to thrive, to grow, to hire, right? Some of you have not even opened your organizations yet. So we will talk more about that connection as we move forward. What else are we going to talk about? Why this class is important. The philanthropic landscape. I'm going to give you some grant basics. I will show you how to prepare to write grants. I will show you what to write. I will show you how to write it, and I will show you how do you attract truly foundations that want to give you money, that are looking to give you money. And then how do you get that application noticed in a sea of applications? And then I'm going to show you how to conduct grant research so that you can find the organizations that align to your mission. And then don't go anywhere because I have a list of available grant opportunities for you. Plus, I have a bonus surprise, and we are going to do a thorough Q&A, right? People who know me know I answer all of the questions. So as we move forward, I want you to drop your questions and do not be shy. This is your opportunity to ask a grants expert question. So drop your questions in either the chat or the Q&A. I will answer them at the end. Now, everything is being recorded because I am here to help you. I can't stress that enough. I'm here to help you. Therefore, everything is being recorded. Tonight, you are going to get a copy of this replay. I do not charge for my replays because I'm here to help you. You will get a copy of the replay. You will get it free and you will have it forever. It will not expire. So you can go back and look at it again and again and again so that you can be helped. All right, let's get ready. All right. Why is this class important? Because we as women entrepreneurs and leaders of nonprofits, we need access to money. We need access to funding, and it shouldn't always be about loans, right? We want grant money because grant money is free money. But you do need to know it is a skill. Grant writing is a skill that can be costly. Someone on my level, we charge upwards to $200 an hour to write a grant. However, yes, you can do this. You can write grants. You need to put your organization in a position to get this grant money. You do not have to be scared. Grant writing is not like it used to be. You are not sitting in some corner for months on end writing some 500-page document. I know because that's what I used to do, right? Grant applications now are, some of them are 2 to 3 pages. There was a grant a couple of weeks ago, $10,000 grant, 2 questions, 100 words each, right? So everything is different. Now you can do this, but you need to know that there is a process. This is about more than just you downloading an application and putting some words on it and mailing it off. That's like the quickest way to get a rejection letter. I'm going to show you tonight what the process is that will place you in a much better position of actually winning the grant. But first, why is there so much money available for for-profit organizations? Now, we know there's always been money for nonprofits, but for-profits, like your small businesses, for the entrepreneurs, this is new. It's all because of COVID-19. When COVID-19 happened, so many small businesses went under. And foundations, the organizations that give grant money, they started to take notice. And so did major corporations that also have foundations as part of their entities. They started to take notice because at the end of the day, the small business, we're the backbone of the US economy. And they said, we have to do something about this. So they started to create pools of grant money earmarked for for-profits, entrepreneurs, and especially women-owned businesses. So that's why there's so much money available now. Next, I'm going to just give you some grant basics, information that you need to know. Now, grants are not paid back, like regardless of what you are seeing on social media, because I see some really crazy stuff on social media. Grants are not paid back. Now, just for the next minute, I'm only talking to nonprofits. Get your 501c3. That is your tax-exempt charitable organization designation by the IRS. And it is a requirement in order for you to have any success at securing grants, because nonprofits, the foundations, right, that give nonprofits grants, they are mandated by their boards that they have to give their grant money to a nonprofit that has a 501c3. Now, even if you are a church, even if you are a school, you're still going to have to get your 501c3. You'll need to go through that process. Now, the good news is that it was taking the IRS about 6 months to process these applications. Now it's taking as little as 8 weeks. So now is the time to get your 501c3. Just try to avoid using a fiscal agent. That's an organization that already has their 501c3 and they're trying to get money for you. But keep in mind, it needs to be someone that you trust, because if they're successful, they get the money and then they have to get the money to you. So it's better to get your own 501c3. Okay. Now, everybody, I want everybody to look at this slide. This is just foundation and corporation giving in 2022. People thought there was no money. Oh, we've been through a pandemic. Nobody's giving. There's no money. $180 billion. That's the amount of money that was given in 1 year just from foundations and corporations, right? When you add in individual donations, you're looking at over $450 billion. But we're just going to work with foundations and corporations now, right? $180 billion, lady, that is a lot of money. All right. And I want you to think about what you could do with just a little bit of it, right? How about finally open? Some of you have not yet opened. Or how about stop bootstrapping? Stop asking family and friends for money. Why would you not want to use somebody else's money to fund your organization? Right? So just think about what you could do with just a little bit, right? Just a little bit of $180 billion, because that's really what you need, right? So right now, everybody into the chat, I want you to write, I just need a little bit. I just need a little bit right now. Everybody, I do mean everybody into the chat. Write down, I just need a little bit. That's right, Secret. Are we trying to be greedy, Yvette? Do we need the whole $180 billion, Sarika? Monique, no, we just need a little bit, right? How about a slice of this pie? This is a massive pie. Can we get a slice, Rebecca? Excuse me, Gladys, I would be happy with some crumbs. You can give me some crumbs off of $180 billion, Anita, right? We don't need the whole $180 billion. Just give me some crumbs, Carol. Okay, and I'm going to show you today, right, how you can get just a little bit of your $180 billion that is available, right? It's amazing the amount of money. Don't let anybody tell you there's no money available. It's about how you position yourself to get it, because it's there. Now, because they call me the grants queen, I'm going to be giving you nice cups of tea all evening. And this is the first cup. It is called Grammarly. If you use Grammarly right now, give yourself some love in that chat. Ladies, it is a free. I love providing free resources. It is a free software editing tool. It will make you a better writer. You use it for Word, for Excel, for the internet, for even your emails and text messages, right? Now, we know there's 5 basic writing skills. I'm only dealing with editing and rewriting now because I do not want you to submit these grant applications full of grammatical errors. And guess what? Grammarly is free. It is free. Who loves Grammarly? Yeah, Amanda says, as a grad student, it is a must. Yvette says, yes, she uses it. Yes, Secret says, yes. Shelby says, I love Grammarly, right? Brandy uses it. It's free. Natalie uses it, right? It's free, right? So that's more homework for you. If you don't use Grammarly, download Grammarly. And courtesy of our friends at Grammarly, we have this article, Improve Writing Skills Dramatically by Doing These 15 Things. This article will make you a better writer. It just will. I'm a professional editor and professional writer. I've used this article absolutely and improved my writing skills. So yes, homework, download Grammarly. And if you have Grammarly, all of you download this article. It will help. Now, what are we doing? We are preparing to apply for grants. What do you need? You need your EIN, your employer identification number. I would prefer that you not use your social security number just for safety reasons. Your EIN you can get immediately through the Internal Revenue Service, immediately. All right, 501c3, yes, for you nonprofits. Now, you may or may not need your state certification, which is a business license. It depends on what state you're in. I'm in Ohio. In Ohio, if you own a business, you must have a business license. Some states are different. Why is this important? Because I was giving this webinar last year. A young lady came on and she said, Linda, you won't believe what happened. She said, I was applying for a grant as a for-profit. And she said, the competition was so stiff. But she said, I was the only one that got the grant out of all of those organizations because I was the only one that had my business license. So yes, this is important. I want you to go to your Secretary of State's website when we're done, your Secretary of State's website, and find out whether or not you need a business license in your state to conduct business. Next, you need a list of your board members. Now, I could do a completely separate webinar on nonprofits and boards. Yes, it is a requirement if you are a nonprofit to have a board of directors. Now, if you are a for-profit, it's nice. It's nice that you have a board. It would be nice if you had an advisory board, but it's not a requirement. It's not mandatory. It is if you're a nonprofit. So you need a list of your board members and a list of your staff. You need letters of support. Who are they coming from? It could be the mayor, politicians, your vendors, the church, community leaders, your pastor, any entity or person that knows of your work and your mission, right? Next, you need an operating budget. Yes, all of you, even the startups. Even if you have yet to start up, you have to create this budget because at the end of the day, you have to know how much money it's going to take for you to run your organization, right? And when you look at that budget, oftentimes you're going to see gaps. Let's say you want to open up a daycare center. You may have money for the lease, you may have money for the employees, but when you start creating that operating budget, you may realize, oh my gosh, I didn't think about marketing. Of course, I need marketing dollars, right? So when you discover those funding gaps, they're great places for you to apply for grant funding. All right. Next, excuse me, you need to list your other funding sources. This is where organizations go wrong because they're thinking, oh, I don't know if I want this foundation to know that I'm getting money from XYZ Foundation. I might not get the grant. No, the opposite is true because foundations do not want to be in a position of thinking they are your sole source of support. So if you have any other funding from any other organization, it could be grant money, it could be sponsorships, it could be even in-kind donations. You need to absolutely list them in the grant because you want that foundation to know that, yes, there are other organizations that support me financially based on my mission. Like that's a plus for you, okay? Now, I'm going to go through the typical components of a grant application and give you best practices. We're going to start with the summary abstract. Now, what do you need to know? It is the first section of the application that you are going to see, but do not be fooled. You always write it last because you're going to go through that completed application, take the most compelling components and dump them into the summary abstract. So you see it first, you always write it last. Next, your mission vision statement. Now, all of you should have a mission statement, but do you have a vision statement? If not, it's more homework for you. The vision statement is what you would like to have happen in the future if you are attaining your mission statement. Now, what is your mission statement? That's what you're doing now. Those are your aims and your goals, right? But that mission becomes critical because it can connect you to the organization that wants to give you money because you need to align your mission to the mission of these foundations. So if you are like laser focused on K through 12 education, you want to make sure that you are connecting with the foundation that also has a passion for K through 12 education. All right. And your mission doesn't change based on what organization you are trying to secure funding from. No, it doesn't change based on the different foundations that you meet. Your mission is static. It doesn't change. You should be looking for foundations that match your mission, not the other way around. All right. And if you do not have that vision statement, more homework, complete the vision statement. Next section is history. Now, what do you need to know? Do not leave this section blank, even for you startups, because guess what? You have a history too. I want you to include really what was the impetus for you starting your organization? What was the catalyst? Because it becomes a part of the founding of the organization. I'll give you an example. A retired principal at a high school. She knew that her kids were underperforming in reading and math. And she knew that once she retired, she wanted to create this tutoring academy to go back and help the students, right? But her experiences as that principal is really what led her to create the tutoring organization. Therefore, it becomes a part of the history of the tutoring company. Right? So think about the catalyst and the impetus for you starting, and it becomes a part of the history. Now, leadership, that's easy. That is your CEO, your COO. It could be your executive director, but always include your board of directors because they are very much a part of your leadership team. Next, this is where you can set your application apart because you are going to be describing your organization. And this is where really us as women, we oftentimes, we don't toot our own horns. This is not the section to be shy. I want you to really think about the word impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve, right? And I want you to use real numbers. Impact, real numbers. Let's say you have a homeless ministry. How many homeless people have you placed in shelters? Let's say you have an online coaching company. You coach women in the area of career development. How many women have you led to their future careers, right? Use success rates, success factors, and always talk about your track record. What history do you have of working with whatever your target population is? This becomes important because a young lady was on my webinar a couple of weeks ago, and she said, Linda, oh my gosh, I lost out on hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why? Because she had applied for a grant. It was a federal grant, right? And they told her the program was great. By the way, she didn't get the grant and she asked, why did she get the grant? Always, always ask why you didn't get the money. Always. It will help you in the future. So they were letting her know your program is great. Your target population is wonderful. What you're wanting to accomplish is fantastic, but we don't see that you've had any experience working with this target population, so we don't know if you'll be able to do it. She said, Linda, oh my gosh, I had decades of experience working with the target population, which for her were youth. She said decades, but I didn't put it in the application. So always put your track record for working with whatever your target population is, youth, the homeless, veterans, you name it. Make sure you write about your history of working with those parties, all right? So you have to ask yourself, what is the issue that I'm addressing? And there's always an issue, always an issue. I'll give you an example of a bakery. A bakery wanted to locate in a downtown community. And you might be thinking, it's a bakery. Like, what problem is she resolving? She's making cakes all day. Well, maybe it's a vegan bakery and she's resolving the issue that a lot of vegans really don't have great places to buy baked goods. Or maybe, right, it's her potential customers, those businesses that are in the area, right? They haven't had a great bakery in years. So she's servicing them. Now, whatever those areas of interest are, it's going to connect you to the foundation that wants to give you money because they share your interests. They also want to address those issues. Now, how do you find out about these foundations? 90% of foundations don't even have a website. I'll say that again, 90% of foundations do not have a website. Well, here's more tea for you. It's the 990 form. I want you to comb through it. It's a gold mine. It will give you the leadership team of the foundation, but if you scroll to the back, there's going to be a document that outlines where they have donated their funds to, what organizations have they given money to. You're going to be looking for organizations on that list similar to yours, because if you find one, you know, okay, they give in my area. So let's say you have an equestrian program and you use horses to help veterans. You're going to be looking to see if they have any other animal-related organizations that they've donated to. And if so, ding, 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 that may be your funder. Now, how do you find out about the 990s? You could pay a subscription to go to many websites, but not tonight. Tonight, you're going to get it free because you're going to projects.propublica.org/nonprofits. And you will be able to download the 990 of any organization that has filed one. All right, free of charge. All right. Target population. I've been consulting with organizations for 16 years now, and I can tell you this is a big issue. Too many of you are trying to help everybody. You can't help everybody. You just can't, right? Organizations like the foundation that give money, they give based on demographics, right? They give based on target populations. So they may give to the homeless or to veterans, right? Or to the elderly. So you have to decide, you should have one or two, one, maybe two target populations. Some of you have like 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a great way to get burnt out, right? Trying to help everybody. You just can't. Now, maybe your program is based on gender and you help women. Maybe it's based on ethnicity and you help African Americans. Maybe it's age and you serve those that live below the federal poverty line. Or maybe you're that daycare center, right? You're looking for kids under the age of 5 and families with kids under the age of 5. All of these types of stats you can get from the U.S. Census. This website right here, census.gov/quick facts, fabulous, fabulous website. Totally free. Totally free. All right. Now, if you have written a grant, give me a yes. Give me a yes in the chat if you've written a grant. Give me a yes in the chat if you have written a grant. Give me a yes. All right. No, there was only one page for nonprofits. Everything I'm saying now refers to nonprofits and for-profits. The only page that referred to the nonprofits was the 501c3. All of this other information is for for-profits and nonprofits. Yes, I see a lot of yeses that you've written a grant before. You have to ask yourself, did you tell a story? Right? Did you tell a story? Because that's what a grant application is. It's your opportunity to show how you were able to change lives or what type of outcomes you were able to achieve, right? The best way to do this is by using real examples, testimonials, case studies, right? And this should be on the homepage of your website. You should have a video of testimonies on the homepage of your website. Absolutely. And this does not have to be expensive. You could have your client pick up that phone and talk into it for 30 seconds. Like, this is the best cupcake I've ever had in my life. Or, oh, her career development services really changed like the trajectory of my career. Notice I said website. Yes, this video goes on your website. Not, well, you can put it on your social media pages, that's fine. But let me tell you, having worked with foundations for 16 years, that is not the first place they go. They go to your website, and yes, you are going to need a website. They go to your website to see your footprint. They want to see your impact, your programs, your projects, your video testimonials, if you have them, from your website. So yes, you're going to need to get a website, and no, it does not have to be expensive, right? It can be something simplistic but professional. Okay. Next, you have a decision to make. Are you asking for operating or program project dollars? Oh, we love operating support, right? Because we get to decide where to put the grant money. It could go towards the lease, employees, you name it. With a program project grant, it has to be spent on a particular program or project of your organization. Now, only about 32% of foundations even provide general operating support. Most of the grant money that you see must be placed towards a particular program or project. But here's the takeaway. You have to apply to multiple foundations for the same exact need. Let's say you want to hire a contracted worker, right? You should be applying for grant money from Foundation A and grant money from Foundation B to pay for that contracted worker. Now, let's say you apply for $10,000 from both, and all of a sudden you get all the money, you get $20,000. You're like, oh my gosh, no, I have to give $10,000 back. No, we don't give grant money back. We don't give grant money back. You know what you could do? You could hire a second contractor to get that cost up to 20,000, or increase the hours of the one that you have now to get the total up to 20,000. But no, we're not giving grants back. You apply to multiple foundations for the same need that you have. That is absolutely critical. Next, as you are describing your project or your service, make sure you put in your track record. Why have you been successful? How have you been successful? But whatever you do, you have to write as if you are addressing an issue. Okay. Now, this is absolutely critical. Community partnerships. Collaboration is king, and this question has been on, I think, every grant application I've seen in the last 8 or 9 years, because this is absolutely critical. Foundations don't expect you to work in a silo. They want you to be able to partner with other organizations in the community, right? They want you to be working with other organizations in the community. Now, this doesn't have to be difficult. We're in tax season, right? Let's say you have an accounting firm, like 1 hour a month, you could give tax talks at your local library. And I think libraries are criminally underutilized, right? So you give that tax talk, you know, people are going to come because libraries, I think, have everybody's email address, right? So you know you're going to get a willing audience. This is your opportunity to raise your level of visibility. That's another reason why organizations don't get grants. People don't know who they are, right? Raise your level of visibility. Let the community know what you're doing. And by working with established organizations in your community, this is a great way of doing it. Like Greek organizations, the Y, other women-owned businesses that have been around for a long time, right? This becomes important because it lets people know who you are and the work that you do. Okay. Now, you know you're asking for grant money, so you have to talk about what you think your results are going to be, right? But you not only have to talk about your current results, you have to think about what do you believe your future results are going to be? So you're going to be doing a little bit of forecasting, but I do not want you to be afraid of the F word, because all you're doing is writing down what you think your current, like your immediate, and then your long-term results are going to be. All right. Now, some applications only ask for one of these, like outputs or outcomes or impact, but some ask for all three. So I'm going to go through all three for you. Outputs, immediate results. You give me the grant money, this is what's going to happen. 6 months down the road, you get your outcomes, right? And then typically 6 months to a year down the road after that, you get your impact. I'll give you an example. They stair step. A daycare center told a foundation, if you give us the $20,000, that's it. That's the last piece of the puzzle. That's what we need. We will be able to open our doors in a great location, serving 100 families and 250 children. And 6 months from that point, we believe, right, that because we opened in this great location, serving 100 families and 250 children, we will grow our capacity by 40% and add 24/7 services. Now, because we grew by 40% and added 24/7 services, we believe, we anticipate, we forecast that in a year from that moment that we grew our capacity, we believe that we will double the number of our daycare centers. You see how they stair step? But now you'll know how to answer each one if you get a question that asks you to list all three. Next, you have to have goals, right? You're applying for grant money, but they can't be regular goals. They have to be SMART goals. What are SMART goals? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. So let's say I have a literacy program and I write as my goal, I want to reduce the poverty rate in Cleveland. No, 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 no. This is a SMART goal. I want to reduce the poverty rate by 5% in Cleveland for Hispanic children under the age of 5 within a 5-year time frame. That's how you write a SMART goal. What did I do there? Into the chat. I want everybody to go into the chat and tell me what I did. How did I change that goal into a SMART goal? What did I do? How did I change that goal into a SMART goal? I quantified it, Yvette. I sure did. I quantified it. What else did I do? I made it specific. What else did I do? Specific details, Gabrielle, Denise, yes. What else did I do? I did quantify it for sure, Yvette. That's exactly what I did. I made it measurable, absolutely. Ellie got it exactly on the head. I made it measurable. 5% Cleveland, Hispanic children under the age of 5, 5-year time frame. Anytime you want to create a SMART goal, you use data and stats to make your SMART goal. Now, when you are speaking of who's leading your organization's project or program, it could be you, and that's fine. Just make sure you have an updated bio and an updated resume because you are going to need it. So yes, that's more homework for some of you if you don't have that bio or that resume. Now we're on to the grant budget. This is how you're spending the money. You always have to itemize your expenses. So if you're looking to hire an executive director, you need to be specific. Is it a contracted position? If so, how many hours will they work, right? In a week? What are you paying them per hour? How many hours in a week? How many weeks in a year? Be specific. The budget narrative is the how of you using the funding, and then you always connect it back to the goal of the program. All right. Oh, I love sustainability. Why? Because just because you get a grant in year 1 does not mean you're getting that grant in year 2. You have to write in the application what you're going to do so that you can keep your organization moving, so that you can keep your organization sustainable in year 2, even if you don't get the grant money. Why is this question in the application? Because foundations don't want to be in a position of thinking, well, if I don't give her money in year 2, oh, there goes the program. So we're going to do a little activity here. I want you to think about the high school. The high school got the $20,000 grant for the tutoring program, but I want you to write into the chat, what do you think they included to show that, yes, we can come up with $20,000? How do you think a high school wrote that they could come up with $20,000 in year 2 to pay for the program? Into the chat. This is a high school, right? Absolutely secret fundraising. How about the old bake sale and the selling of candy and the car washes, right? Fundraising, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So you have to be creative and write down these alternative fund development methods into your application to show that, yes, in year 2, we're going to be okay. We're going to be able to pay for whatever the program or the fund is. Now, this is critical. If you don't take anything else away from this webinar, this is it. This is as important as anything you will ever write in the application. You need to meet with the foundation first. Yes, you need to build this relationship, because in that meeting, they're going to tell you information about the grant that they did not put on the website typically. And you're going to be sharing information with you about your organization that it's not on your website, because you're sitting in front of the person and you're passionate, right? I've been in foundations leaders meetings where I've heard them say, look, if you're trying to get money from me, you haven't emailed, you haven't called, you haven't set up a meeting, you haven't connected, I don't know, that application might go into the trash. Now, hopefully she just said that for, effect. But yes, absolutely. And I've set up probably 1,000 of these meetings, right? A couple of weeks ago, set up a meeting between my client and a foundation, 30-minute Zoom meeting, $30,000. The foundation never even heard of my client before, right? But you set up that meeting, you attend. And even a few weeks earlier than that, I set up another meeting between a foundation founder, and then my client. That was like a 2-hour session. But my client walked away with not only $30,000, but a guarantee of $30,000 every year from the foundation. See, foundation can guarantee you money. Grant writers cannot. Now, some of you are like, Linda, no, I can't do it. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. I would love to do it. Sounds good. I don't have time. My question to all of you, and I want an answer in the chat. Do you have time to get free money? That's the real question. Do you have time to get free money? I'm seeing some yeses. I'm seeing some raising of hands. I'm seeing some yes. I'm seeing some I'll make time. Absolutely, I'll make time. So if you have time to get free money, I need you to spend just a little bit of time on the process to get the free money. So spend just a little bit of time on the process to get the free money, right? It requires a change in the mindset, because the money is available. It's about how are you going to position yourself to get it, right? And if they like you, I will see where they will literally guide you as to what to put in the application so that they can approve it. Now, those are some do's. These are some don'ts. Don't ask for too much money when you approach a funder for the first time. Typically, you'll know the amount of the grant, but there's two organizations in particular, two foundations, your utility foundation and your local community foundation, where they don't always tell you the amount of the grant. They expect you to tell them what you need. But I ask you, like, don't go crazy. Don't say, oh, I need $150,000, because you won't get it. Not the first time. Be conservative. Ask for between $5,000 and $30,000, right? And then don't leave questions blank on the application. If it's especially an online portal, they might reject it because they think the application is incomplete. All right. But whatever you do, oh, and that other one, so the two foundations, the community foundations, local community foundations, I'll talk about those later. But the utility foundations, oh my gosh, they have deep pockets, like your gas companies and your power companies, your electricity companies. If they have a foundation, they have money, right? But just be conservative when you approach them. All right, remember I said how important it is to meet with the foundation. This is what you do. You write an email letter of introduction. In that email, you're describing your organization. You're talking about who you target. You are aligning your mission to the work of that foundation somehow. Now, you're not asking for money yet. You're asking for a meeting. Now, you may get a reference for a name, but do you have the email address of the person that you need to send this email introduction to, right? I have been giving you tea all evening. This is a teapot. GetEmail.io. It is an amazing program. It will give you the email address of almost anybody around the world, in an established organization. I get emails from people in Germany, Italy, France, you name it. because I do not want you sending this email to some generic info at abcfoundation.org somewhere, probably going to the hemisphere and never come back. You need a real name and a real person. If you get the real person, you can get the email. All right. And if you send this letter to a real person at a real email address, oh, they're going to respond. So this next is how you get the money. This is grant research. So it's like, show me the money. This is how you get the money. Now, Foundation Directory Online is the leading source of information on grant organizations in the country. They're about $50 a month, or you can go to what? That local library and get access for free. Keep in mind, they give you information about the organization, not about the grant, about the organization providing the funding. Next, you have grants.gov. That's your source for federal grants. Lilly Foundation, please don't think that just because you might be a church or a faith-based organization that there's no money for you. There is. Lilly Foundation is the largest funder of religious organizations. We have Grant Gopher. Oh my gosh, ladies, they're $9 a month. Get you a grant list for $9 a month. Grant Watch is $20 a week. They do a phenomenal job of giving you the synopsis of the grant, the contact people, including the email and the phone number if they are available. But they give you a synopsis of the grant and then a link to the grant application, information about the foundation or the funder. They're remarkable, $20 a week. Next, Grant Station. Grant Station is $200 for the whole year. And I think they do the best job of allowing you to feed it information about your organization in order to give you a grant list. UrbanawarenessUSA.org, they're phenomenal. They are a free site. They have tons of minority grants, but also grants for many different kinds of funding. And it's free to sign up. So when you're done, please, homework, sign up to UrbanawarenessUSA.org. Tell them Linda sent you. All right, so this is just an idea of how you do Grant Watch for its database and how you search it. They're, again, about $20 a week. Look in the middle there. You check nonprofit, business, or individual, whichever one you are. Look to the left, apply filters. You start filling in that information, right? What is your category? Where are you located, right? And I want to say a word or two about the locations. First of all, always start locally. Some of you are leaving low-hanging fruit on the tree, right? On the table, because it's so close for you to pluck it and you're not seeing it. It's much easier to get money locally. I know it's like sexier to go after like the $2 million grant from the government, but that's the hardest one you're going to ever be able to apply for. All right. So local is easier, but don't disregard national grants, because simply because there's a headquarters for a grant in California does not mean that they're not going to give you money here in Michigan. So do both. Research local and national grant organizations. All right. And then you put the information in, pops a list of grant opportunities. Now, these are some actual grants that are available for you. Some of them, if they're not available, they are forthcoming. So the SKIP Perseverance grants, I'm almost sure this is the one where they extended the deadline. It's through Hello SKIP. Hello Alice, you might know about. They are one of the largest portals of grants for women. They currently have a restaurant and American Dream grant, and I think they have another grant too. Do you have a brick and mortar? If you have a brick and mortar, Main Street grant has reappeared again, right? So that's a grant that you can apply for. Amber Grants for Women, right? They give away $10,000 every single month. NASE, they have growth grants. Visa has a grant. Grants for Women, that's a list of grants. You want an angel investor, 37angels.com. They also write grants, right? But even if you don't want an angel investor, I want you to go to their site there, because they have a list of funding opportunities for women business owners. So you should go look at that list. Now look at I Fund Women. Cartier, the jewelry company, even they have a grant. Now you might be saying, Linda, I'm a startup. I haven't seen any money. Well, it depends on where you've been looking. Busy has a program for startups, right? Sky's the Limit has a program for startups. Now, you might be saying, but Linda, I'm teeny tiny. It's just me. I don't have a big staff. Look at Amarillo. All they do is give money to really small organizations. Or you might say, I don't have any employees. They're all volunteer. I don't even have an org chart. I will say to you that you don't need an org chart. You need impact, right? Because those volunteers could be working seamlessly, right? So Amarillo and Mustard are the last two. They're both in Texas. And then Google your local community foundation. That's important. Now, I believe in networking because, again, you need to raise that level of visibility. Let organizations know you exist. So these are just a few organizations that you can network with. I belong to the NABO in Cleveland and some of these others as well. Ladies Who Launch, they actually give grants. So some of these are grant providers, but make sure that you are aware of them and that you work with them. Now, right now, into the chat, I want you to write what comes to your mind when you think about banks and money. Banks and money. Let me know what just like what pops into your head. Yes, loans. Oh, debt. Loans and debt. Yes, loans and debt. Loans denial. Yes, fees. Loan and high interest rate. Did you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money in the country? Grant money. You've not been going to the right banks, right? It's not your branch manager or your loan officer. You need to go to either one of three positions at your bank: the vice president of economic development, the vice president of community development, and the vice president of community reinvestment. Go to one of those three, right? And I'm giving you leads on 3 hot bank grants. Bank of America, that deadline is June 21st. They will take for-profits and nonprofits, right? Next, we've got Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo will take, yes, small businesses and nonprofits in their grant program. And then we've got TD, which is TD Banks. I think they mainly operate on the East Coast, but they have a grant program. Now, remember I said I had never seen the amount of money available now for women businesses, especially for profit, but nonprofits as well. That's true. And I wanted to do something about it because, to be honest, I know I can only help so many of you writing like one grant at a time. So what did I do? I created a grant writing course, right? It is a simplified grant writing course. This is how I won $17 million. I put it in a course, right? So that you could do the same. And it does include my coaching. And it has truly been a proven step-by-step path to funding, because I want you to stop bootstrapping and worrying about whether or not you're going to stay open or how will you pay your organizational bills, right? Use somebody else's money to help you win $20, $30, $50,000 or more. As you will see, it's all possible by writing grants. I give you the best grant research techniques. I show you how to find funders who want to give you money. And then how do you approach foundations and funders? And then I will teach you how to write every single part of that grant narrative so that it is clear. You get 12 modules, 35 lessons. Look, I know people learn differently. They do. So I have 30 introductory videos now. This is not a course of just videos. There are actual lessons in this course. And when I am asking you questions, which I do, I want you to answer them thoroughly. And you can answer them creating one large Word document, or I give you a pre-grant template where you can place your answers, because what you're doing is creating this phenomenal document that you're going to use to copy and paste and put into grant applications, right? And then I give you workbooks because everything's online, everything's digital, but you can download the information. And then I give you these really silly fun quizzes so that you can remember the information. And then, yes, I give you real grant examples, and every grant example I wrote and every grant example won money. And then I do something nobody else in the country is doing. I give you a list of over 450 organizations that's providing grants. And that list is being reviewed. Right now it's being rejuvenated, it's being reworked, it's being added to. This list is going to be over 600 when we're done. Over 600 organizations. And I also provide a resource that has completely changed the trajectory of the students in this course, and that is my private Facebook group. Let me tell you, this Facebook group, as the young kids say, is lit. It is unreal. I am so proud of everybody in this group because there's no competition. It is all about collaboration. The students just want the other students. Everybody wants everybody else to win money. Right? I dropped so many grants in this Facebook group. And do you know, I think the students truly drop more grants than I do. I remember Ojeda, this was maybe a couple of weeks ago, she dropped a link with over 100 grants in it, right? And if you want someone to maybe review some of your work, we just reviewed like a pitch deck a couple of weeks ago, or maybe you started writing the grant and you're not sure, you come into the Facebook group and ask for it to be reviewed, right? I have people with doctorates. I have professional grant writers. I'm in there all the time. I am not one of those content creators where you buy something from me and you never see me again. You'll be sick of seeing this face in the Facebook group. And then I give you an hour of group coaching. Every single month, you get an hour of group coaching. Now, this is not what you're paying. This is what it's worth. 12 modules, 35 lessons, worth $3,549. I've had the course audited 3 times. The videos are worth $599. The list of funders worth $499. You get workbooks, you get planners, you have to stay on track. So I give you grant trackers, right? But this is what you're paying because you came on this webinar. Now, the value of the course is $4,997. That's not some fluff number that I made up, right? The university grant writing courses are $5,000. They're over the weekend. You don't get any access to the professor at all afterwards, and you may get the materials for maybe you get to keep them for 2 or 3 months, maybe. My course is totally different on a totally different level, and that's why it's valued after it's being audited, right, at $4,997. That's why my regular price is $997. That's like my, regular retail price, but I try to keep it at $497 to make it affordable. Remember, I said I was here to help you. I really try to keep it at $497, and that's what most people pay. That's not what you're paying because you came on the webinar. Letting me know you need help. You could have been somewhere else at 7 o'clock. $247 is your payment, one and done. So you're literally getting an additional 50% off of the $497. And people truly think that they're going to pay $247 every single month because you get so much, but you don't. It's one and done. It's one payment. And if you need a little bit more help, I do that too. You can pay $137.50 now, and then in 1 month, pay the additional $137.50. But if you're going to take that lowest payment of $247, one and done payment, you have to use this code APR02P like Paul. That is important. Now, I cannot keep the course at $247 because people pay $497. So the additional 50% off expires in 3 days. You have 3 days until Friday to get it. But what you need to know, and this is very important, is that the course never, ever, ever expires. You have it forever. Why? Look, as women entrepreneurs and leaders of nonprofits, life just happens to us. We could be all excited about getting into the course and life happens and you realize you can't start the course the next day. That's why I do not have an expiration date on this course, right? I didn't even talk about the letter of inquiry. That's important. I teach you how to tell your story. I teach you how to write if you just want a basic writing lesson. And then every part of that grant narrative I'm teaching you. You get the Facebook group, you get everything. One and done, $247 out the door. All right. Now, if you want to buy the course, the link is being dropped into the chat. If you hit the link, it will take you to this page here. You hit purchase, it will take you to this page. Look to the left there. You see it's $497. That's what people pay, but you have a coupon code. Most people don't. You have a coupon code and you have a big one because yours will take $250 off of this price. Your final price will be $247, one and done out the door. But you see that little block there? That is if you want a VIP private session with me, you and me, one-on-one. I do a deep dive into your organization, right? To make sure you're grant ready. I look at your mission, your vision, your target population. Make sure you know how to look, where are you looking. We even do a search locally and nationally. It is a strategy session. You leave with complete clarity, right? You get the session notes, you get the video of us working together, me giving you all the information to take with you. That's why it's $495 every day. It's only reduced to $195 when you buy the course. It's the only time you'll see that reduced period is when you buy it with the course. And you can add it on whether you're doing the $247 payment or just the one payment of $137.50. You can still add on the $195. And speaking of those two payments, Yes, you can make the 2 payments. This is what you want to do. Hit the link. You'll still come to this page, but now, excuse me, you'll see that little black drop down arrow. You hit it, and there, 2 times $137.50. You make the 1 payment. And by the way, I do not drip my course. So even if you only make the 1 payment of $137.50 today, you still get everything. The whole course, the access to the Facebook group, the group coaching, everything, right? Now, look at Whitney. Remember I said look locally and nationally, and look to your power companies for grant money. She went to her Southern Power Fund, local, $40,000. Then she went nationally. Remember I said go to national organizations. She went to the National Birth Equity Collaborative. They gave her $50,000. I thought she was done. Honestly, I thought she was done. She surprised me about a month ago. She hopped on my webinar. She said, Linda, I got $200,000 in 2023. She said there was a time when she would never have even dreamed of getting this kind of money, right? She's in the course. Oh my gosh. And I got this post. Miss Peavy, this is Michelle Richardson and Annette Thompson of Tranquility Point Therapeutic Massage LLC in Charlotte, North Carolina. We both wanted to share our wonderful, fabulous news. This is a massage company, ladies. Our small business was awarded a $20,000 grant. We are so very thankful and grateful for your course. It's been life-changing for our business. The same day, Ida said, Linda, I got $20,000. Now she's with Mustard Seed Enterprises. Remember I said, don't think because you're a church or you're faith-based that you can't get grant money. And Ida, the last week of the year, Ida got another $20,000. Look at Christina. May I share that I am so grateful for Linda. I would not have had the confidence to follow through on applying for grants if it wasn't for her grant writing course. The depth of information provided is unmatched. From my experience, I won my very first grant to grow my business, and I am so grateful. Christina won a grant and mentorship. Reverend Chris is over $35,000. Look at Natalie. I'm a graduate of one of your classes and was able to secure a $50,000 grant for a local church. Yes, people take the course and become professional grant writers. It is amazing what is happening. April, now don't we all love Ben and Jerry's ice cream? Did you know that they have a phenomenal foundation? April made a little game and she took it to them and she presented the game and they said, this really is not within our funding requirements, but this game is incredible. Like, here's $1,000, right? You can't get grant money if you don't apply. And then she kept going. So for all of you, if you get grant money, don't stop. If you're going to pitch at all, if you're going to any type of pitch competition, the course is wonderful. April called me. She said, Linda, I'm ready. I took the course. I know how to tell my story. I know how to present myself. She said, I'm going to enter this South Side of Chicago pitch competition. And she did. She beat out 100 competitors. So proud of April. She came in second place. She walked away with $9,000, right? So this is all real. This is all true. These women are in the Facebook group. You can come talk to them, right? And most of them had never written a grant before, never thought that they could possibly get grant money. But this is all for real. Women are getting grant money every day. That's what you need to know, right? What did we see earlier? $180 billion being given every year just from foundations and corporations. But guess what? It's Q&A time now. It's Q&A time. But before we get into the Q&A, I just need you to do one more thing for me because I believe in speaking things into the universe and writing out your vision and what your hopes and dreams are. So right now, I want everybody into the chat. I'm ready to get grant money. I'm ready to get grant money. I'm ready to get grant money. Everybody right now into the chat. You have 3 days to get this deal, by the way. You have 3 days to get the deal. 3 days to get the deal until Friday. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. New and Tarika and Secret. Write this down. I'm ready to get grant money. Like, get this out of you. Like, put your mind in the right place. Whatever you do, please don't be in the same position a month from now. Don't be looking around, what is it, May 2nd, saying that you heard somebody had some grants. No, place yourself in a position to get them, right? Anita Shelby, right? Denise, absolutely. Is it Natalie, Yvette, Gabriel? I'm ready to get this grant money. Anita, is it Filiatra, Gladys? Sometimes they cover up some of these names. Guadalupe, Roseanne, Ellie. I'm ready to get this grant money. Sheila, this is Bernadette. Yes, Alnisha, Angel, Amanda, Tolia. Is that right? Angel, Carol, Danielle. I'm ready to get this grant money. Jackie, Deborah, write this down, right? It's go time, ladies. It's April 2nd. There's way more money given in the first part of the year than the second, because some of these grants like Verizon and Walmart, they'll let you know when the money is gone, the money is gone. So place yourself in a position to get it, right? Yes, it's $247. You have two, or you can make the two payments. Let me just say that either it's 247 or the 137.50 now and 137.50 a month from now. But either way, you have 3 days to get the deal. You have three, that coupon code is for 3 days. Or if you want to make the two payments of $137.50, you don't even need a code, but you still only have 3 days to get that deal. The code is if you want to make that one payment of $247, which is the lowest payment, one and done. You've got 3 days, because I really cannot keep the course at $247 because people pay $497 for it. And when I tell you it's a $5,000 course, look at the university courses. This course is a $5,000 course, had it audited 3 times. All right, it is Q&A time. That's what I'm talking about. It's time to go. It's time to get going. And I don't know if you've been looking at the news, but not everybody is happy that Black organizations and minority organizations and women organizations are getting this grant money. Not everybody is happy. Some of these organizations, believe it or not, they're being sued. It's very sad. It's very, 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 very sad. All right, questions. Let's see. All right, I'm going to read this quickly, Anonymous. All right. Sorry, I'm like, one target to start. Okay, you're going to help one target audience to start, more target audience. Yep, keep it at one target audience. Yes, every day, 9 p.m. be able to manage multiple part and tasks. My coaches. Courseware, I'm looking to help non-survey people. I want money to get started so I can focus. Does that exist, or do I have to spend my own? So I gave you information on startups, right? So there's startup money available. So it's not that there's not startup money available. It's about whether or not what you are wanting to provide in your startup is going to compete against other people who are applying for startup money. I gave you 2 startup resources, Busy and Sky's the Limit. They're both startup grants. You have your target population, which is good. Always start with, please try to stick with one, right? And let me say something to all of you, because I don't want you to start sending me questions about, is there a grant for XYZ? If you have a legal organization, you can apply for grants, right? It's not a matter of whether or not there's money available. It's a matter of whether or not you are going to find the organization that will give you the money. It's not a matter of whether or not there's money for what you do. It's about how do you find the organization willing to give you money for it. And so I'll give you an example, and I know you're anonymous, which is fine, so I'll say this. So someone in the Q&A was saying that they're LGBTQ, right? And they want to start this organization. Now, this is for all of you. There's 3 ways in which you are going to search for grant money. One is with your gender or ethnicity. So if you are a woman, there are organizations where you can apply for a grant, like Amber Grants for Women, right? That program is strictly for women. I Fund Women. Those programs are strictly for women. I have seen grants available to the LGBTQ community where you have to be LGBTQ to apply for the grant, right? So gender, ethnicity, If you are Black, if you are African American, if you are any type of minority, there are grants that are earmarked for you. It matters less of what you're doing. You'll be judged for what you're doing, but the fact that you can apply because you are a woman or because you are a person of color, you can go after those grants. So that's gender, right? Gender, ethnicity. The second area is your mission. Align your mission to the mission of the organization. So if you have an organization that's wanting to give funding to entities that, for example, help women develop some type of training, and your mission aligns with the mission of that organization, you apply. That's why your mission statement is so important, right? The last is industry. Look to your industry. As someone who wanted to open up a salon, I'm like, look to your industry. Look to like Shea Moisture. This was like a Black hair care salon, and then she was opening up a nail salon for men. It's like, look to your industry, Shea Moisture, and sure enough, Shea Moisture has a grant. Paul Mitchell, look to see if Paul Mitchell has a grant. You want to open up a nail salon, look to see if OB Nail Polish, if they have grants, right? You're in transportation, FedEx. I know FedEx has 2 grants out right now. UPS has a grant, right? If you're in transportation, look to your industry. A lot of you are in the mental health and wellness area. Look to your hospitals, right? I'm in Cleveland, right? We have the Cleveland Clinic, right? A renowned hospital. They have a massive foundation, right? A lot of hospitals have foundations where they give money. Look to your industry. So it's not a matter of whether or not there's a grant for you. If you're providing something legal, find your funder, find the organization that will give you money. What happens if you're still in grad school looking for grants and hoping to set yourself up for future success? It depends on what you're doing. So I don't know if you noticed when I looked into, when I pulled up Grant Watch, it said businesses, nonprofits, and individuals. There are some grants for individuals. Usually those are grants for students in grad school, especially for research. So one, I would look for those individual grants if you're in grad school, you're doing research, right? Because there are grants available to grad students doing types of research. But it doesn't matter if so you're a startup. You would consider yourself to be a startup, right? Because you haven't even opened up the organization yet, but you need a great plan, right? You need a great plan. And just think about what you're doing. Why are you going to make it special? Why should I give you money? Right? What do you have experience in that you could bring to the table for me to think, okay, I'm going to believe in that organization and give that organization money. So it matters less that you're in grad school. What is your idea? Right? What are you trying to bring to fruition that your community needs? All right. Can I schedule that one-on-one later if I purchase it now? Absolutely. So if you're purchasing the one-on-one, I leave it totally up to you as to when you schedule the one-on-one, and I'll tell you why. Because some people are not ready for the one-on-one, and that's fine. Some people wait months. Some people want to write a grant first. Some people want to get into the course first before they meet with me for the one-on-one. Some people want to start the grant writing process before they meet with me. It's totally up to you. Everything is at your leisure. Everything's self-paced. You start when you want. You meet with me one-on-one when you want, when you think you're ready, right? So that's totally completely up to you as to when we would sit down and meet and have that discussion, right? Because keep in mind, everything's self-paced. So that's up to you. So absolutely. Most people do. Now, sometimes some people will say, look, I have to meet, like, I want to meet like yesterday. And then I'll look at my schedule and I'll try to meet with you as soon as possible. But some people wait months. Keep in mind, it's forever. If you don't want to meet with me until 6 months from now, you'll still be able to do that. Like, nothing expires. Remember that the course does not expire. You paying to meet with me, that does not expire. Okay. If I want to open up an adult family home, are there grants for starting that kind of business? First of all, yes, there are. Also, can you apply for multiple grants at a time, or are there restrictions? You probably weren't on when I was talking about this. You absolutely, positively should be applying for multiple grants. That's what all of you should be doing. Don't ever just apply for one grant and let it be one and done. No, you should be applying for multiple grants. So yes, there's grant money to start an adult family home. I would recommend, highly recommend to you that you don't start seeking money to go buy a home or build a home, right? Ask for money to lease or to rent a home. Start small. That way you only have lease payments and rental payments. You're not worrying about trying to get $1 million grant to build a home, which you probably won't get unless you're partnering with someone else or you've been able to receive $1 million grant in the past, right? So you have to think small. So you want to open an adult family home, great. Find a home that you can rent, make it successful, make it work, and then go with the idea of you wanting to build like a structure. Start small. Do you answer questions in the program via email? Oh, I do not. I do not. So if you have questions, come to the Facebook group so that everybody is helped, right? So that everybody is helped. So if you have any questions about the program, let me clarify that. In the course, as you go through the lessons, there is something called discussion starters. So let's say you're in the lesson and a question comes to you. You can open up a discussion starter, ask the question. That question comes to me via email, and I am the one that answers all of those questions. So in a case, yes, if they come to me through your discussion starters in the course, or ask your questions in the Facebook group. Like I said, I'm really there all the time. I'm there a lot, right? I'm there a lot. I wouldn't say all the time. Nobody's in there all the time because Facebook is open 24/7. I'm in there a lot. Ask your questions in the Facebook group or the monthly group coaching sessions. Oh my gosh, that's where you get so much help. All right. But before we do anything, we have to stop and give Secret some love because Secret said, look, when I said I was ready to write grants and I was ready to get this grant money, I meant it. I want you all to give her some love. She bought the course. She's on her way. Secret, I will see you in the Facebook group right now. I want to see some clapping of hands. I want to see some hearts. I want to see some love for Secret. Good for you. Good for you. Invest in yourself. This is a small amount of money for what you're getting. I promise you it is. Once you get into that course, people are just dumbfounded by what they get. When I say it's a $5,000 course, it is, and you're getting it for $247. And some of you for $137.50 today. All right. So let's give her some love. Let's give her some love. All right. More questions. Are there grants for felons who have a business already? Yes. So what I want you to do, there are special programs. So the good thing is you know your niche, you know your target area. So you're saying, are there grants for felons that have a business? So I want you to clarify what you mean. Are you a felon and you want to start a business? One, is that what you're saying? Or do you have a program where you want to help felons, right, who want to become productive members of society, or maybe who want to open up a business? I know that there's first of all, there's money for both. Again, it's about you researching to find out where the money is, but I know there's money for both. So let's say you have a program for ex-convicts, right? Ex-offenders to come out into society, right? To be productive, right? There are multi-million-dollar grants available. A lot of them are coming, surprisingly, or not, from the Department of Justice. A lot of that money comes from the Department of Justice because once an ex-offender gets out into society, everybody wants that person to be successful. But also go to your local city. Is going to be either your police department or your criminal justice system within your city, because they also work with organizations that want to help ex-offenders. I'm in Cleveland. There is a world-renowned program here in Cleveland. There's a gentleman that started a 3-star restaurant. He hires ex-felons as chefs. He trains them as chefs. He gets so much grant money. So much grant money. So it really depends on, excuse me, what question you're asking. But I have also, in my 16 years, I've seen programs that are available for ex-offenders who want to start businesses, right? So they're called ex-offenders, they're not called felons, they're just called ex-offenders. But yes, yes to both of those questions. Okay. Okay. So yes, do the research. They're out there. Do the research. Do the research. Do the research. Specifically on programs that help ex-offenders. There are so many programs that help ex-offenders, right? So yes, do your research. Those programs are absolutely available. Absolutely available, they are. So yes, you want to say ex-offenders. You want to say ex-offenders. All right, but before we do anything, Amanda was like, Sigrid, you're not leaving me behind. Amanda was like, no, I'm here, right? It's time to get this money. So everybody give Amanda some love. Amanda was like, I'm ready to go. It is go time. I'm here to help you. If you get the course, you will get 3 emails. This is important. You will get an email with your username and password because you start immediately. Don't wait for me. You start immediately. Let me say this to both of you. I will see you in the Facebook group. I'm going to ask you a question in the Facebook group, a question, and I want you to answer because I help you immediately. I don't even want you to wait until you come to the next group coaching session. I'm going to ask you a question, answer it because I help you immediately. Some people are like, this is too much too soon. Like, I'm not even ready. I'm trying to help you get this grant money. All right. I'm trying to help you get this grant money. Okay. All right. I'm okay, Gladys. I'm looking. I'm still in the Q&A. I'm still in the Q&A. You might have asked a question over in the webinar chat. I'm going to that in a second. I'm just trying to get through the Q&A. Let's see. Can I ask for in-kind donations if I'm not nonprofit or just ask for donation? Absolutely. Of course. Absolutely. You can be a business. You can be a for-profit. You can be an entrepreneur and ask for in-kind donations. Absolutely, you can. Yes. Can you speak about the grant roadmap that you offer as well? So I have a grant roadmap called the $1,000,000 Grant Roadmap because when I tell you I'm here to help you, I'm trying to help everybody. I try to make things affordable. I have a $1,000,000 grant roadmap is $5. It is $5. And no matter what else you do, you can buy the course, you can buy my grant success kit. Always be on one of those 10 steps. So that little grant roadmap will lead you right to every step you need to take to secure grant money. It's like $5. So as you are writing grants, you should always be on one of those steps. Always. It's just a little roadmap. It's like a little 8-page roadmap and it's $5, right? So that is going to be helpful for you regardless of anything else you do. It's going to be helpful. So if you buy the course, as you're working through the course, make sure you're on one of those little steps, right? In that little grant roadmap. All right. And it's like $5. Erica, do you happen to have the link to that roadmap? If not, I can grab. Look at this is why I love Erica. She has already placed this link into the chat. Thank you, Erica. It's $5, a $1,000,000 grant roadmap. Thank you, Natalie. Oh, Gladys, I think we got to you. Is it customary for foundations to charge an application fee? That is an excellent question. I only know of one organization that charges an application fee, Amber Grants for Women. They're the only ones I know. So I'm going to tell you that in the 16 years that I've been writing grants, I know of 2 organizations that I've ever asked for money to apply for a grant. They were both legitimate organizations, but 99% of the time, in my experience, no, like 99.9% of the time, no, it's not customary at all. It's super, super rare, super rare. And if you get the course, you make sure that if someone's trying to charge you a fee to submit an application, you come into the Facebook group and let us know what's happening. And I'll tell you whether or not they're legitimate, because that is highly unusual. Please be careful. This happened last week with someone who was on the webinar. They were saying that some organization was charging them to apply for grant applications. I'm like, no, it already doesn't sound right, because I only know of two, and I've seen thousands of grant applications. Amber Grants for Women and Entreprenista, those were the only two I've ever heard to charge you to apply for grants. Otherwise, typically no. And if you see that, it's probably a third-party organization, that's trying to apply for grants on your behalf. That's totally different than an application fee. All right. Right. So in kind, no, it does. So you can be a for-profit organization and people can donate goods to you. Now it's a little less common, but please don't think just because you're for-profit that people can, there's no avenue for you to get funding through in-kind donations. People could donate furniture or whatever, right? Can you please post the link to this webinar again? Oh, yes, yes, yes. So if you know anyone who wants to take this webinar, who wants to attend this webinar in the future, I'm going to put the link into the chat here. And just to let you know, on Thursday, I have a webinar for Black organizations. This one is for women. On Thursday, I have two webinars that are geared for Black organizations. All right, those are the questions in the Q&A. I'm going over to the webinar chat because I did see quite a few in the webinar chat. So I'm just going through here slowly. I'm going through here slowly to make sure that I'm not missing any questions. Okay, this is great. I'm an inventor and I'm concerned about explaining my product in a grant when it is not protected. So a lot of people come to me and ask me questions because I've been in business a long time. I know a lot of people, right? I have a young lady who is an inventor, woman inventor, and she created a product, right? She had a patent on it, but she had trouble bringing it to market. I happen to know Lisa Ascalise. Lisa Ascalise is the QVC HSN Shark Tank queen, right? She helps inventors, especially she has a program that helps women inventors like you, right? That she would be a good person to ask that question to, because if you invent something a lot, so what is it called? It's the I think it's the SRID grant, I believe it is. It's the research and development grant from the federal government. I can't think of the name of it now. It's actually on the slide. Excuse me. If you have any type of research and development, let's say you're inventing a product, that's a government grant. So there are ways in which you can protect yourself, right? Sometimes you could include a NDA, right? You could possibly include an NDA so that no one is able to talk about your invention to any outside resource, right? But there are inventors that get grant money, so there's a process for that, right? But I think that's a question that you should ask Lisa Ascalise, because she has invented so many products, right? But there are ways in which you can protect yourself. Definitely. And as you go through the invention process, I think there's ways in which you can protect yourself as you're going throughout the invention process, right? And it could certainly be like a trademark, right? I mean, that's something that you would absolutely want to do. Some items you want to be trademarked, other items you want to have a copyright on, but in your particular area, you probably just want to make sure you have a trademark. So that becomes important too. All right, let's see more questions. Let me just scroll through here slowly. It does get tagged as AI corrected content though. So run your content through an AI detector. I use undetectable.ai recommended my link. I'm not sure what you're referring to. When you say it gets tagged as AI corrected content though, I'm not sure like what I'm not sure you're talking about Grammarly or not. So if you're using I get asked this question all the time about AI and grant writing. And I'm actually creating a webinar that will address artificial intelligence and grant writing specifically because there's so much misinformation out there. People are thinking that AI can write a grant for them. There are, I'm glad you mentioned that because right? There are tools now that can detect, whether or not you use AI to write copy for you. Editing is totally different. People use Grammarly to edit, right? That's different than using AI or Chat GPT to write a grant for you. And that's where people get into trouble, right? An editing tool is an editing tool. And Grammarly is not going to, you shouldn't be using Grammarly to write something for you, but it's used as an editing tool. But I will be providing a webinar very shortly on how you use AI with grant writing so that it can be used as a tool. It's never going to be a replacement. It shouldn't be. And you mentioned the AI detector. People are think they're writing whole grants with AI. And guess what, Amanda? The foundations are putting those applications through AI detection software. And then the applications are all sounding the same. Like foundation leaders are aware of what's going on. So please don't think you're going to use AI to write a grant for you. You need to know how to write. And that's what this course teaches you. And if you know anything about AI at all, it's all about the prompt and how you ask it questions. Well, the questions that you get in this course are perfect to use, right, as prompts for AI. If you know anything about what I'm talking about, some of you may be aware of what I'm saying about artificial intelligence and grant writing. So it's all about the prompt. And the questions in this course are great to use because you're going to use the questions in my course as prompts to help you if you want to use AI to help you. Maybe, for example, let's say you have a grant and it's 5,000 characters and you've written 6,000 characters, right? AI can be a great tool to help you edit it down to 5,000. So, but you've got to be careful. So that's why I'm creating a separate webinar. All right, let's see. Amanda says they could team with communities like the Boys and Girls Club. Absolutely. There is so many opportunities for you to collaborate with your community, right? And there doesn't have to be a cost involved. Excuse me, right? There doesn't have to be a cost involved. You could do something as simple as talking at the library, right? Or changing flyers about another organization's services, and they will maybe place their flyers in your service company, and maybe your service company can place their flyers at your establishment. There's so many different ways that you can work with community organizations. They're great. And you mentioned the Boys and Girls Club. Talk about a well-respected organization. You start collaborating with them, you are going to increase your level of visibility for sure. And that is important when you are searching for grants. People need to know who you are. All right, let's see. I think we're almost done. I just want to make sure I have not left any. Yes, put NA for blank. So instead of having a blank question, just put NA if it doesn't pertain to you. So I answered those questions over in the Q&A. Seriously, what? Amanda, and I'm not sure what you're referring to. Is your Facebook group for paid clients? My Facebook group is only for students of the course that have paid for the course. Okay, I talked about the roadmap. Can we access the course multiple times? Yes, the course does not expire. The course does not, you can access the course 1,000 times a day if you want to. It does not expire. It does not expire. So I am here to help you. I am trying to make this easy for you. When you go into the course, I don't like lock you out after you've been in the course 5 times over the course of a day. You're writing grants. Like there's no restrictions on that. You're writing grants. Grants are time sensitive. So you may be in that course all day, right? Or you may have to go back to the course 10 times a day. It doesn't matter. The course is available. You create your own password. I don't create the password for you, right? You create your own password and your own username so that you go in as often as you want, right? Because everybody's different. Some of you are nonprofits, some are for profits. You may have different reasons for going in. Maybe someone wants to go in and take a look at the budget module. Somebody else might want to go in and look at the module that talks about grant research, right? Let's see. Oh, wow, you just went to an event with Whitney this weekend. It was wonderful. She's fantastic. Like, am I not telling the truth? A woman won $200,000 last year. She is absolutely fantastic. Whitney, yes. I'm sorry, did you say that you can help us become professional grant writers? I said that if you take this course, it is so in depth that yes, you will be able to write grants. You will be able to become a professional grant writer. Because I've been a professional grant writer for 16 years, you take this course. If that's what you want to do, ask me questions and I will help you. Right? Let's say you need to know how to price your services. I can give you advice on pricing your services. You want to know where do you go to get clients? I can help you with that as well. Yes. The $247 is for one length of time. It's until the next 3 days. Friday, the discount is up. So you have until Friday, right, to get the discounted amount. All right, let me just see if there are any other questions and then I'm going to wrap it up. Let's see. Yes, you can absolutely. Oh, can you receive multiple grants at once? Or are there restrictions? Absolutely, there are no restrictions. You should be receiving multiple grants at one time, as long as you spend the money on exactly what you said you were going to spend the money on in that grant application, right? You absolutely can receive multiple grants. Absolutely. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate that. Natalie says, I don't have a question. I just want to thank you for sharing these nuggets with us for free. You are welcome, but wait a minute. Hold up. Tony has bought this course. Everybody give Tony some love. Tony was like, no way, I'm being left behind. It is go time, and it really is. It's April 2nd. I look, I would love for you to buy the course. Let me be your coach. I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, but even if you don't buy the course, don't be in the same place a month from now, looking around asking people. I heard about some grants. I thought there was some grants somewhere, right? Come into this course and be the first to learn about these grant opportunities, right? Because I tell you, I'm dropping grants in there all the time. And oh my gosh, it is a safe community, right? Against the scammers. I have to share this really quick story, and I'll let everybody go. A student came into the Facebook group. She wanted to hire a grant writer, which is great. If you want to hire a grant writer, please let me counsel you on that. Someone approached her, said, if you give me $250, I will write all these grants for you. They started asking for her bank account information, her social security number. And she came into the group and she created a post in Facebook, right? Into the private group. And she said, this doesn't sound legitimate. Like they're asking me for my bank account information, my social security number. I never even had a chance to get to her. The other students like converge on their poster, like, wait a minute, let us research and find out whether or not this organization is legitimate. And sure enough, they did the research, came back and said, no, they're scammers, right? That's the community that I have. And by the time I got to the post, they had already researched the information and told this lady, no, this is not good. These people are scammers, right? So please be careful. Please be careful about the scammers, right? So that's why I'm saying be careful. If you are hearing someone saying about those fees again, if you are hearing of organizations trying to charge you to what appears to be an application fee, but actually they're charging you to give you the application so that you can apply for it? No, very few applications. Like I said, I know of two in the 16 years that I've been writing grants that charge a fee. It's very, very, very rare. What if you haven't made much of an impact yet with few clients, right? So even if you made impact with one client, have that client pick up this phone and do a 30-second testimonial about how you've helped them, right? And put that on your homepage of your website. If you have one, if you have two, and guess what? If you don't have any, what were you doing before you started the organization? Had you made an impact on anyone, right? You can still get letters of support before you even start your organization. The letters of support can be from people who know you, who know of the work that you do, who know of your impact. So you can get letters of support before you even start your organization. This is where your experience and your background comes in, right? So let's say, take that principal, the principal that wanted to open up the tutoring academy. Well, she was a principal for 20 years. So she could get letters from students, from teachers, from her school district saying that this woman is a great educator. She deserves money to open up this organization without her even having ever opened the organization. So look back to the people for whom you believe you have had an impact, maybe in some of the other work that you were doing. Okay. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Good for you, Roseanne. You're the one in grad school. Yes, the course is self-paced. Is it Bernadette? Yes, the course is self-paced. I would like to have my friend get on the webinar. Yes, the link is in the chat now. The link is in the chat. Let me just make sure there are no other questions. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sometimes it does not want to give me the full name of the person. I think this is Angela. Oh, Natalie, you know about Edwin. Phenomenal. Nationally known program, Edwin's and Edwin's 2. They're a restaurant here in the Cleveland area where they hire ex-offenders and they train them as chefs. They get so much grant money. They actually opened up a butcher shop so that they could continue to train ex-offenders, right? There's so much money in that, so much money. And being able to train and help ex-offenders. Can you get grants for profits? Yes, for profits selling ethnic food. Yes. There's a restaurant grant right now on Hello Alice. Go to Hello Alice. There's a restaurant grant right now that covers food trucks and restaurants. Like right now, there's a grant. Okay, let me just make sure there are no other questions. I have an online health fitness directory. Any alerts or suggestions when completing my application? I, I go through what you've just learned, because I literally went through almost every part of a typical application. Make sure you're doing it right. So go back through this replay. You'll get the replay tonight. Compare what I've asked you and what I've talked about in this replay to the questions on the application, and ask yourself, are you addressing what I said you should be addressing in those questions? All right, let's see. You're welcome to it. Is it? I probably butchered your name. I'm so sorry. Tiula, I think it is. Right. Don't use AI to edit. Use AI. I'm sorry. Don't use AI to write. Use it to edit. Absolutely. The recording will be sent out at 11 o'clock tonight. Thank you, Anita. How can we sign up for the next what meeting? I put the, here, I'm putting it in here again. This is a link to sign up for future webinars. I'm putting into the chat. And you have a choice, because again, I either provide webinars for women or webinars for minority organizations. All right, let's see. Be careful with the emails. I received an email saying I want a grant affiliate with Hello Alice and the Sage Boss Network. I contacted Hello Alice directly, if true, and they said no, and report to the FBI, yes. You have to be careful. There's scammers out here. Anytime you deal with free money, ladies, the scammers come out of the woodwork. They just do. They just do. They come out of the woodwork. Okay. You'll receive the recording tonight at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, we are done. I have gone through all of the questions. So you have 3 days to get this $5,000 course for $247. Or if you want to pay $137.50 now, and then pay the other $137.50 a month from now, you can. You still get everything right away. All right. So I believe we have finished all of the questions. Remember what I said, don't be in the same position a month from now. Do something to move your organization forward, please. A lot of these grants, right? When the money is gone, the money is gone. So place yourself in a position to get these, all right? To get these grants that are available now. All right. So my name is Linda Peavy. I'm creator of the grant writing course, Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals. I want to thank all of you. What I want you all to know is that you are phenomenal. And I'm not just saying that. From my perspective, this is year 16 for me. I know what you're doing is phenomenal because I know that there are so many organizations that want to be where you are. They have an idea. They want to help. They want to open up the business. They want to open up a nonprofit. And here you are learning how to do it, right? Learning how to do it. You're ahead of the game. You need to know that. Give yourself a round of applause. And thank you so much for joining me. I will see some of you. I will see Tony and Amanda and Sigrid in the Facebook group, right? I'll see you over there. And the next group coaching session, all three of you, please be on that next coaching session. And when you get into the Facebook group, I have the recordings of the prior grant coaching sessions. I say they're supposed to be an hour. They end up being 2 hours because I answer all of the questions. They will help you. I guarantee you they will help you, right? You'll get off to a really, really great start. But again, ask questions in the Facebook group, right? That's what I'm there for. And that's what the other students are there for. It is a community of collaboration. All right. So thank you all so much. I appreciate it. I will see some of you very shortly, and hopefully I will see you all because you have 3 days to get this deal. And hopefully you will be able to invest just a little bit in yourself so that you can move forward, right? This is about forward movement. This is 2024. As I always say, expect more in 2024. So thank you all so much. I want you to have a blessed night and enjoy the rest of your April and the rest of the year. And thank you again. Blessings to you all. Bye-bye.